Okay, we'll try it again. They should have saved, yeah. They saved at the door. Gotta try and get that. I didn't realize they even had a mine, to tell you the truth. Okay. See if we can open this chest. We can. Okay.
There's a ton of different chemicals. They must have been using them to make explosives to help out with the drilling. Guess it would work for me too. One charge should be big enough to close the tunnel down. Just mix it all together, attach it to a single detonator, and bam. Gonna be a beautiful thing.
You really believe that they'll have left enough to blow up the tunnels here? Wouldn't be very smart of them.
They need chemicals to clear out the access. Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level. I need some materials if I'm gonna collapse this tunnel.
Looks like I'm going this way.
The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level. Here's your way out. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you better get going.
They will never forget the Hammer Man. Never.
The Hammer
They
Man.
thank him.
Okay. Some components. Some serum. Some more components. Some detonators. Okay. Pop the wall and we'll go blow up the tunnel.
Perfect. Got everything I need to shut this access point down for good. All set. Just need to get back to the rover before setting it all off.
Back to the rover, I guess. Let's see, what are... Yeah. Okay. Destroy the tunnel. Counter it. Back to Ophir.
Those tunnels gone. Aurora's got no way into Ophir anymore. Mission accomplished.
The intensity of the vibrations is soothing, hypnotic. They make me so tired.
Dear old Scott. My machine's caressing you with rumbles. Sweet talking ya. Can't go falling asleep on a battlefield, though.
Thanks to you, the city won't ever have to face another attack like the last. All those people wounded because of those broken shutters. Just thinking about it, I feel nauseous.
It's probably the rover. Gotta get used to the vibrations. Most people fucking puke their ass out their first time.
No, I meant the thought of all the... Never mind. I really don't get it. This is war, right? Aurora shows up and blows up part of our city, and how do we retaliate? Send a handful of people like us? I don't get it.
You ever do anything but bitch? A successful mission. Tripping a rover. Hell, if I was you, I'd be grinning ear to ear. Why don't you do that? Bitch less, smile more. Sir, I've got, something to ask you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I don't know if you know, but my dad died when I was young. Actually, he disappeared. He never came back from one of his explorations 15 years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't want your pity, okay? It's not about that. What I mean is, I've never managed to find out what kind of mission he was on and where he had gone. I know he was close to Scott, who was probably even his best friend. That old crazy man doesn't want to tell me anything. He says he wants to protect me. Look, I'll just cut to the point. I was wondering if you'd maybe look in his dispensary for me, see if you could find any of my father's notes or letters or...
I don't know, Amelia. Scott's like a father to me. And besides, you know he's almost always there. How would I even do it?
I'm not asking you to break in or steal nothing. Just keep him busy. And while you are there, you know, just flip through files. I'm sure he kept letters between him and my dad. He's not one to throw anything away.
All right. I'll try to make him leave, but if I don't find anything...
Yeah, I won't blame you. But I know that you're going to find something.
Search Scott's things to find Amelia's father's letters. What's in the closet? Nothing much.
Can't open the lock or break it. Gonna need the combination.
Okay. We're gonna go right over here to Scott's and we'll see if we can't do that one. Since we're right here.
Hello, Scott. My captain told me that she wanted to see you.
Is it related to you? Are you sick?
No. Not that I know of. She didn't tell me why.
Oh, well, should I take my pouch then? It's an important question. I should still take it though, but it's a little heavy. All right, I'm leaving without it.
I think I have a problem with going through your friend's things. I hope whatever you're looking for, it's worth it.
I'm trying to find information about the past. It's personal, okay?
Forget it. You couldn't understand. The officers, they aren't like us. They're above all that.
Okay, we'll just take this back to her.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello?
Bring
I
back
found some of
Scott's
your
letter.
father's letters.
I knew it. Tell me.
Most of the correspondence was friendly. They were very close. However, there was some tension between them over time. Some letters gloss over an expedition that they had done together, but what surprised me the most is when your father talks about a boy who was actually Scott's son. The last letter I found is a bit bizarre. I didn't really understand what he meant.
What did he mean? Do you remember?
Your dad begged Scott to stop the madness, warning that his wife's divorce was only the beginning of what he would lose if he couldn't face the truth. That it was too late for his son. He seemed to think Scott was on the verge of self-destruction.
It's true that it's rather mysterious. Scott, a son. Did you know?
No, he never told me about him. He obviously lost him. No doubt it's still a touchy subject.
We have to find out what this is all about. You have to ask his wife. Did my father really mean to interfere in his family drama? Maybe that's why he disappeared? Please, Zachariah!
Talk to Scott's ex-wife.
I can't take this anymore. I don't even have enough to feed my kids. My job feeds a damn boy more than my own family. Keep your mouth shut. You wouldn't be the first to moan and end up sleeping under the sun. I know, but how am I gonna survive?
Come on, guys, let's get him!
Here's the boring. Since they don't want to leave me alone. Level 16.
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
Science. Try to understand
I
the
think
problem.
Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better and maybe even find your old friend.
The drive to dissect even the smallest details, to try to understand how and why. That thirst once drove me too, but I let it go. There was no well deep enough to satisfy that thirst. I was never as involved as Scott. In truth, I began to give up my work once we had our son. The focus of my research had been the study of animal mutations with the goal of vaccine production. And always wondered if Because of that, I had been the conduit that carried the infection to my son. Scott was more interested in genetics and its medical applications. The second our son showed signs, though, I completely stopped my research. If I hadn't told Scott, he would never even have noticed. And his answer was to swear he could find a cure. He really believed that with his work in genetics and mine in vaccination, that we could save our son. But I was too devastated to help him. All I wanted to do was spend every second with our son before he was taken away from us. Which, of course, happened. And Scott and Mark took off on a wild goose chase that he was sure would end in a cure. Ha, I didn't get it. There wasn't anything he needed that he didn't have access to in his lab. And while he was off, I was alone, and waited, and eventually got tired of it. So I asked for a divorce. And then they finally came back, with nothing to show for it. But soon Mark took off again to find what I guess were raw materials for research that Scott swore he couldn't find here. And that was the last I saw of him. That's all I know. I never found out what their research was on, and honestly, I just want to forget it all. Please now, can you leave me be?
Tell Amelia what you've learned.
Well, I can feel for what the old man's been through. I've known some folks myself who went through the same thing. Terrible thing. Breaks couples up, you know. Stress of never being able to have kids again.
Why never again?
Because they sterilize families who've had a mutant to make sure they don't have no more.
It's sad, but it's the only way to protect our own kind. At least now I understand why the professor's so, you know, weird.
Okay, we're gonna run back to the
Lost 10 doses of serum the other
warehouse.
day. Bad bet in the arena at the Curiosities. Wife is gonna have my head if this keeps up. Easier said than done. I know the drill.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello?
Share the information
I talked to
obtained on
Scott's
the-
ex-wife.
So, what did she say?
It's an awful story. Her son. Anyway, their son was struck by mutation. They took him away from them, of course, but it made Scott go crazy, and he was convinced that he could find a remedy. He asked for your father's help, so they left together, and were gone for a long time. Their exploration apparently didn't lead to anything concrete for the boy, and Scott descended into madness. And then one day, Mark left. His ex thinks that it was to bring back something useful for his research, and he never came back.
Shit. So my father's disappearance is related to that poor kid? It's really awful what they must have gone through. That explains a lot about why he's so crazy, and also why he behaves as if we were his kids. Thank you, Zach. That doesn't answer all of my questions, far from it, but I have a better grasp of what happened. My father disappeared by helping his best friend, who was going through a rough patch and wanted to heal his child. It's a sad but beautiful story, isn't it? I'm gonna think about all this. Thank you again.
Compliment her.
You're not like other girls, are you?
Is that supposed to be a compliment? Or are you being a wise ass?
The way she
You just
speaks.
don't talk like the rest.
I drive a Rover. I don't sit around sipping brightly colored drinks with brainiacs talking about the philosophies of life. You don't like the way I talk? Take a number and shove it up your educated ass. Take any one of them uppity shits and put them in a Rover, driving through sandstorms and seeing crazy shit every fucking day, and tell me they won't start talking a little more colorfully.
Easy, killer. I'm not judging you. Doesn't bother me. I was just saying.
You were a fucking rogue before, so unless the army made you soft and... Sorry. Just a little defensive. Hear that shit a lot.
We'll leave. We're gonna spend our level points now. We're gonna get our magnetic armor. We're gonna do strength level 3. So we can give orders. I think this is one that just stays active as well. Yeah. Which are the ones that I like. But we're out of time for this episode, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!